Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Regan Elite here with another episode of Speaking My Mind. How you guys doing? So this one may or may not, I'm going to do this one anyway because I honestly don't know what's going to happen by the time you see this, because things can rapidly change quite quickly. So at the time of this recording, this is in late February, obviously Zelenskyy is still the Ukrainian president. The war in Ukraine is still, the war between Russia and Ukraine is still going on. So I just wanted to put that context in there before I start talking here, because I wanted to talk specifically about Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Well, I will touch on Ukraine obviously, but I want to talk a bit about him. Now, Donald Trump calling him a dictator is the most stupidest thing ever. Zelensky's not a dictator. We know he's not a dictator. We know he was democratically elected and he has the right to be in power. Now, you may not like him, or you may not like his party, you may not like politics or whatever about Ukraine, and that's totally fine. You may not like him as a person, that's totally fine. But again, it's like Donald Trump got elected as US president. I'm not happy about it, but it's what people vote for, you know. But to try and claim that Zelenskyy is a dictator is an absolutely stupid thing. And for anyone to claim that Zelenskyy in Ukraine should have had elections, well, it's kind of hard to do that when there's bombs dropping on you. I've said that analogy quite a few times. It's absolutely stupid to do so. Civilians are dying every day. Never mind soldiers on both sides. Civilians are dying, okay? Civilians are dying on a daily basis. Whether it's elderly, women, children, whatnot, people are dying. Let's just be fundamentally clear about that, okay? Now, the question is Volodymyr Zelenskyy going to be Ukrainian president when this ends? My honest answer is no. I think he's gone. I think he's definitely gone come the end of this. I think that when this war ends, so does his reign. Now, he has really had to ruffle feathers and push world leaders for help and support for his country, his people. And I absolutely think, you know, if it wasn't for him, perhaps Ukraine might not have been here. You know, he has been putting himself through a lot. I think he has handled himself and conducted himself throughout this whole war and conflict very well. Could he have done things better or worse? Yeah, you can always say that. But we're talking about people's lives here. You know, we're talking about the sovereignty and nationality of Ukraine. You know, its independence that it had from breaking up from when the Soviet Union collapsed as its own free and independent nation that they want. This is what the Ukrainian people have always wanted. The majority of the Ukrainian people, the vast majority, they'll probably say about 95%, do not want to go back to being under Russia's control, okay? Now, there are some Ukrainian Russians who disagree, and that's totally fine. We can have agreed disagreements on it. But I do think Volodymyr Zelenskyy speaks for the people. Now, the question is what happens to him, what happens to Ukraine after this war? I think that it is in Ukraine's best interest that he does step away, and that as soon as this war ends, and God forbid it does end peacefully, that they do have elections and that Zelenskyy does not remain in power. I do fear that Russia will try to influence Ukraine in some way, shape or form during the elections, try to have massive interference within it, try and control the outcome. That is my fear. Obviously, we don't know what the outcome of the deal is, or whatever deal, if there is going to be a deal between America and Russia. But I do think that, for all intents and purposes, I think Zelenskyy will no longer be in power. I hope nobody tries to go after him. I hope he gets to be left in peace after this. You know, for anyone to be in the shoes of what that man has been in, for him to deal with what he has dealt with has been is remarkable. I hope the Ukrainian people are able to go back to their homes and their shelters and rebuild their lives. But let's be very clear. Vladimir Putin started this war. Vladimir Putin annexed Crimea. Vladimir Putin started the incursions on the eastern side of Ukraine. Vladimir Putin ordered Russian forces to enter Ukraine. Vladimir Putin tried to overthrow the Ukrainian government. It's Vladimir Putin who has on a daily basis launched missiles and troops on a daily basis against Ukraine. Vladimir Putin has put suffering, the insuspensible suffering of the Russian people, who have suffered as a direct result of this war. They have suffered as a direct result because they've been shut out from the world, because the sanctions have been imposed on them, because they went to war. They have taken and annexed territory that does not belong to them. Yeah, let's be clear. Territory does not belong to them. And we should not be trying to justify it in any way, shape or form. And the fear is the repercussions on the rest of the world if we are justifying the annexation of the territory that Russia have taken. Because you have to think about other conflicts and other tensions across the world and how they will react to whatever outcome will be in this one. Because that really does matter. It really, really does matter. So if Ukraine are not allowed around the table, if Volodymyr Zelenskyy and his government don't have a say, then they should do what they think is in the best interest of the Ukrainian people, not what Donald Trump or Keir Starmer or Vladimir Putin or anyone else says otherwise. They should make the decision for themselves. And I just hope whatever it is the right one, specifically for the people of Ukraine. It says, "Stop the war, I stand with Ukraine." What do you guys think? What do you think of Volodymyr Zelenskyy? What do you think he's done as Ukrainian president? How do you think he's done? Could he have done more? Could he have done less? Do you think you could have done what he's been doing? Let me know your thoughts and more on this down in the comments below. Hit that like button, share across social media. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.